Do you ever wrestle with like the darker parts of yourself?
Oh, jeez.
Gao The Arsonist.
Gao The Arsonist.
I'm so excited to have you in my fort.
Me too. I've been a fan, lurking in the shadows for a while.
That's crazy. Yeah. I love the shadows. I mean, I have so many questions for you. Mm-hmm. Okay, actually, no. The first question I'll ask is because it's the question I get all the time, which you just asked me. Mm-hmm. But can you explain your accent / where you're from?
Oh, yeah. No, I love that. I could turn the tables on you before. Yeah. I get that all the time. But yeah, so I was born and raised in Essex. Until I was the age of 12. Mm-hmm. And then my whole family up and left to China, of all places. I grew up in an international school environment. My dad is a secondary school teacher, so I was kind of like thrust into that weird like melting pot of cultures. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm sure you know this, the international accent is like this kind of generally Americanized, like almost dialect where like people can't place it exactly. And that, I feel like that makes my music feel distinctly not British.
I feel like because you have, well, we have this kind of, you can't really place where you're from. And like, I don't know if you get this, but when someone asks me like, oh, where's home for you? I'm always like,
Oh yeah,
I'm always like, I don't know.
That is such like a core pillar in my identity and in my music. I don't know if like you were aware of that beforehand, but you know, I have entire like song concepts and characters that embody that kind of, you know, displacement that I felt for basically my whole life.
Is it something you still feel?
Oh yeah, for sure. And you know, like life is long, like hopefully, and that. I'm sure I have room for that to change and like take shape. Like I'm thinking of settling down here after being like pretty nomadic for the majority of my life. And I'm excited how that might inform my relationship with home. But up until now, it's been so nebulous, you know, and I feel like that's, you know, played a part in how kind of like alienated I feel from any particular culture or people group or, you know, community. And yeah, I guess like my music wouldn't look like it does now without those experiences. So even though I'm sure you relate, that's kind of difficult to navigate. It's so difficult. You know, it's been so essential to like who I am now. And, you know, I kind of like who I am now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think because of that displacement in identity, which is definitely something that I think about every day. It comes up every day in some way, whether that's positive or not. But do you think that's lent itself to your ability to world build?
I think 100%. Like, I feel like those feelings of alienation and displacement are at the core of so many of the stories that I tell. And like the places that I've been, the people that I've seen have all informed, you know, different dimensions to this world. And yeah, it would just look completely different if I had grown up here my entire life. So for that, I'm pretty thankful as well.
I like romanticize everything. I romanticize everying. I story build in my head, sometimes very negatively though. Sometimes
elaborate on that. What do you mean?
Let me tell you. We'll be here all fucking day.
Sure.
Like if something is like very uncertain to me, I'll just tell myself a story about it. And like for me, I like struggle with anxiety and depression. So like for me, the blanks kind of fill up with really negative things and like negative self-talk and negative narratives and catastrophizing everything. But then I look at music like yours and I look at music like Tyler or like Brockhampton or like that type of like kind of like aggressive music. And that's something that's always comforted me in those moments. Right.
And I feel like maybe I have like the inverse relationship with like these like negative emotions.
What does that mean?
Like you said that like these blanks are kind of like filled in with these like negative emotions, and that happens with me, but like it's an opportunity to like displace them almost. So like that actively helps me. I think, you know, I feel like with And They Mine for Our Bodies, like the last album that I released, a lot of people have kind of turn to me and be like, okay, you're not like the most like mentally stable human being, so like why sink yourself even further into like this like dark depressing world? And I was like, for me, this is like hopeful, you know. It's like I can like calcify all those feelings, like all of that negativity in one place, and like dislocate that from myself, you know what I mean?
That's so interesting.
You know?
Just kind of put it in this vessel, and hold that maybe over here for now.
And I can be like, you know, like this isn't me, like this is me like observing it, you know what I mean?
That's so interesting. I feel like I'm very attracted to darkness, and sometimes like I think when I was like looking for dissertation topics to write, I studied art history. I was like, I wanted to do it on like decaying flesh, like that is just naturally what I gravitate.
Why are we like that?
Right? Why are we like that?
I've always been like that from a child, but I'm not a pessimistic person.
I wouldn't say I'm pessimistic.
Exactly. But that's like the macabre and like the dark has always been, it's spoken to me the most, you know?
Yeah.
That darkness and grittiness and griminess in like subcultures like horrorcore, I feel like the darkness is the point, but I feel like for me, it's just like a vessel for like my messaging, you know what I mean? It's just like an atmosphere and a tone that I can't help but be captivated by. You know, I feel like a lot of people like accuse you of being like, oh, edgy, or like, you know, taking pleasure in the grim. But I don't think that's what it is. I feel like it's just always been a very captivating vehicle for me, you know? It's like just the way things land.
So what is sludge?
What is sludge? That's a good question.
Do you want to answer?
That's an excellent question. You know, a sludge is, you know, a piece of vocabulary that's like been bounced around the Gao community. You know, it's very much like spawned from the fan base and the people who are involved in my music. You know, I felt like I always wanted to occupy like a distinct and unique kind of like sonic palette within alternative hip hop. And I remember years ago, I just literally like made a video and like asked the people who were tapped in at the time, you know, like what should we call this, you know what I mean? And sludge was like the most popular answer by far. I think that just struck something in me, you know, it felt like it perfectly encapsulated the
100%,
like the emotional response that I wanted to capture. So much so that, you know, beyond people who know about sludge, I think they feel it on like a instinctive level. I was talking to my friend from high school, and he was like friends with like another person who hated my guts, right? And he was showing him my current music, and you know, he's not exactly tapped into the experimental hip-hop scene, but you know, I'm told that he kind of looked at him with a disgusted, you know, expression and was like, you know, this sounds slimy to me. And I was like, when I heard about that, I was like, okay, that was very gratifying. I was like, yeah, it is. You know, it's slimy, it's sludgy. But yeah, if you want like a concise like answer, like what is sludge? It's cult language, you know. You know, I feel like when you're building a community, you have vocabulary that you use, like people who are in the know, people who know what's going on. It can be used to describe like the griminess, the grittiness. It can be used to just express something positive. And it's very much borrowed from Drain Gang, you know, how they use the word like drained within that community. I was always fascinated. It's a bit of a meme. It's a little, it's not too serious. And I feel like that word is so integral to like how I've connected with people. It's so weird. It's just like something so silly, but even at the shows, like people like turn to each other and they say, stay sludged. It feels like a family in a way.
Like a secret language.
Yeah, exactly. And that language actually, you know, developed itself, and it kind of took on a life of its own, and it became like an important part of the lore. And as it became more integrated in the lore and, you know, the community responded, I built on it more, and then the comics became a thing, and it became like an official, you know, tangible thing within like understanding the larger sludge verse, which I find equal parts inspiring and hilarious. You know, it was basically a meme that turned into, you know, a pillar of my career. But yeah.
Marketing wise, is that something you enjoy, or is that kind of just like the burden to promote your art?
I've been like going through it like very recently, right? You know, I came up in like 2022-ish when like, you know, the alternative side of the music industry was just kind of figuring out how like social media was working, or like TikTok short form content kind of stuff was working. And like a lot of underground artists started like pioneering this wave. I don't know if you're aware of people like Overpaid or like Young Wabo. But yeah, around that time, it felt like the sky was the limit. Like I would see like my peers, and it'd be like, there's so much potential here. It really felt like a gold rush in a way. And now the gold is dried up. Like it's so fucking saturated. Yeah. It's so insane. And it has kind of felt more and more burdensome. Yeah. You know, not that the process has necessarily changed, but it's like before you could kind of like see where you're trying to get to. Like you could see the path forward. Yeah. But now it's kind of like obfuscated. It's kind of, you know, obscured. But I don't know, I've been trying to like reconnect with my enjoyment for creating things, right? And I was like, this shouldn't be any different, you know? Yeah. Like, I care a lot about artistry, and I always felt like social media kind of had to be like a dilution or like a kind of compromise where it's like, okay, you have this really cool stuff that you're doing, but you kind of have to dumb things down and put them into like boxes that's easily consumable for short form content, right? But recently I've been trying to pave a new way, you know? I was like, before, because in the gold rush era, you could kind of see the people that were there before you, and you could kind of follow in their footsteps, right? But I think with any innovator, they like carve their own way, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I want there to be the Gao method, you know. I know, you know.
Put me on the Gao method immediately.
I'll let you know when I figure it out. You know,
shove some sludge down my throat. Let's do it.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord. In terms of like community building, was that a conscious thing that you sought to do, or did it come like really naturally?
I think both. Like I think from the start I was kind of aware that, you know, I'm not gonna be able to compete with like the Billboard hit makers, you know what I mean? Like that's not where it's at for me. You know, the type of music I make, it's for people who can, you know, sit down with it, like really absorb it and like throw themselves in it. And those are the people that you want to be connecting with. Those are the people that you want to be like, you know, involving in your you know, day-to-day like activities, in your like creative process, and that's really like the backbone of any like underground artist's career. And I was conscious of that when I wanted to do this professionally, but it wasn't forced at all, you know. I think, you know, just like we were talking before this, there's like a certain like profile of person that you immediately kind of connect with when you have similar interests in like ridiculous lore and like deep dives and like cryptic, you know, analysis, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I think you just kind of find each other naturally, you know. I think people are just drawn to you based on like what you present. And yeah, that was a very natural kind of process.
Did it take a while to build up?
Definitely. Like the current state of my career is definitely the sum of many years of connecting with people. You know, this kind of thing doesn't happen overnight. And I don't think I'd want it to either. There's something gratifying and fulfilling about seeing, you know, your work take form after a long, you know, drawn out period of trying. You know? like one of my mantras, it's actually tattooed
Tattoo.
here, is I don't know, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of ambitious kind of creative projects are just kind of you throwing yourself at something.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And then seeing, you know, where the cards fall, seeing what slots into
Throwing
where.
sludge and seeing what sticks.
Oh yeah, yeah, I love that. I'm gonna steal that right now.
The lore.
The lore.
Do you have like? I'm asking this because I do have this kind of locked away for myself. But do you have like a written account?
Oh, the document.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Everyone
You know
has
exactly
a
what I
document.
mean.
Yeah, the insane fucking Google Docs.
Literally,
that you
like
have
paragraphs
that's
and like
100
characters
pages.
no one will ever see.
Uh-huh.
Like even I was like cycling here to my fort, and I was like coming up with like this new character, and I was like, no one will ever see that. But it's for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No.
Do you have like that doc?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have multiple docs
Okay.
for different projects, and I was just talking to a friend, like beyond music, beyond Sludge Bath, the comic series. This is really fulfilling for me, and I'm trying to branch out in like other mediums. And I just did something that was unthinkable, and I sent
What did you do?
the document to another human being.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I feel like that's kind of like.
Did you press send and want to vomit right after?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Are you signed to a label?
I'm not.
You're not?
I'm independent.
Have you ever been signed to a label?
Nope.
Has a label ever approached you?
A few times, but in
Yeah.
like that really like scummy
Sleazy
A&R way.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
like, oh, why don't you... Like, okay, it's either like, oh, let's go on a fucking 2-hour call and
Yeah.
like waste your time,
Yeah.
or let me like kind of spit in your face and like kick sand in your eyes with this offer.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I think the plan was always to remain independent.
Okay. What's like the main reason for staying independent?
I think it's just control.
Yeah.
Like I like to do. I would say that I feel like I'm a great artist and like a horrible business person.
It's tough.
Like the
It's so tough.
decisions that I need to make for God knows like what reason. They're just like horribly they're horrible financial decisions, right? Like usually far more ambitious than I have the
Yeah.
resources to
Yeah.
like make happen realistically, or like the timeline is insane, blah blah blah. And the manager who I work with accepts that, you know, which I think is really important. Like he sees the vision and he trusts the vision, and I don't know if a label would do the same, you know. At the end of the day, like you are an asset
You're a
for
product.
them. Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
Have you ever felt like giving up?
Oh, all the time.
Really?
All the time. I feel like, you know, that's probably a very like important part of that dislocation I was talking about before. It's like I want to give up so bad, but I can't. Like I gotta put that somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I feel like doing any kind of creative pursuit professionally sometimes feels just like insurmountable, right? I feel like a couple of months ago, you know, I felt like I really hit this like glass ceiling, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like I've gotten this far, but you know, I'm still not in a point where this is like safely sustainable. I want to give up. And then I like thought about like what the alternative of like giving up is, you know. I was like, you know, I would still have to be doing something that I don't want to do, you know, there's like not really much of an option. And that usually like snaps me back to reality pretty fast. It's like, I tell myself I'm like living in the best timeline in a way, even though it sucks sometimes. Like you know, I can't really imagine like another life in a way.
Interesting.
You know?
Well, Gao the Arsonist.
Gao the Arsonist.
Thanks so much for coming into my fort.
Thank you so much. I'm still sick, so I'll give you like an air. Sick as hell.
So,
The sludge verse and the Stargazer universe will cross paths once again, I'm sure. But yeah.
thanks for coming.
Thank you. And stay sludged.
Stay sludged.
Yeah.